Ever notice how you can spend an entire day thinking about something, planning it out, running it over and over in your mind, and you still end up doing the exact thing you promised yourself you would not do? You overthink a text, then you do not send it. You overthink a project, then you delay it. You overthink your life, and you fall asleep with the same worries on repeat. And what makes it worse is this: your thoughts feel like you. So when your head is loud, it feels like you are loud. When your head is stuck, it feels like you are stuck. But here is the uncomfortable truth. The part of you that talks is not always the part of you that drives. Freud had a blunt way of saying it. He said, the ego is not master in its own house, meaning you might feel in control, but a lot of the time, you are really just the narrator. You are explaining what happened after something deeper already made the call. So today, I want to help you stop living in your head, not by thinking harder, not by arguing with yourself for hours, but by taking back control from what has been quietly controlling you underneath the surface. Because if Freud was right about anything that still helps people today, it is this: you do not become mentally stronger by winning arguments inside your mind. You become mentally stronger by noticing what is actually driving you and choosing anyway. All right, let us make this simple. Imagine your mind as a house, a big house, a serious house, a house with hallways you never walk down and rooms you pretend are not there. Upstairs, in a bright, clean room, is the part of you that thinks in sentences, the part that speaks in shoulds and tomorrows. It says things like, I should not, I need to, I am fine, I will start tomorrow. It is the voice that can explain anything. That upstairs room is the ego, the conscious manager, the spokesperson. Now, below that room, there is a basement, and in the basement is a part of you that does not speak in words. It speaks in urges, relief, craving, anger, avoidance, jealousy, comfort. Freud called that the id. It wants what it wants, and it wants it now. And then there is another room. Sometimes it feels like it is not even inside the house. It feels like it is above the house, like a spotlight aimed at you all day. That is the superego, the internal rule book. It says, be better, do not mess up, do not be embarrassing, do not disappoint people, do not be weak. So here is the problem. Most people spend their lives arguing upstairs, while the basement quietly pulls the levers, and the spotlight room quietly shames them for it. That is what living in your head really is. It is trying to solve emotional problems using only thoughts, while the real drivers are feelings you have not named, needs you have not admitted, and patterns you have not noticed yet. And honestly, it makes sense. Your mind is trying to protect you. Freud's whole project, at least the part that can help you today, was basically this: make the unconscious conscious. And there is another line linked to him that gets repeated for a reason. Where id was, there ego shall be. In plain language, it means this: where blind impulses and hidden fears were running the show, you bring awareness, you bring choice, you bring a stronger self. Not by becoming perfect, by becoming honest. Now, let us get practical, because stop living in your head sounds nice, but your brain can turn that into a motivational poster and keep doing the same loop anyway. So I am going to give you a method you can use anytime your mind starts spiraling. I call it the ego expansion method. It is not magic. It is not positive thinking. It is simply a way to catch the moment your mind protects you with a story and replace that story with reality. And reality, when you can handle it, has a calming effect. Because spiraling usually happens when your mind is trying to avoid something. Before we do the method, I want you to recognize how living in your head usually shows up. It shows up as rehearsals. You rehearse what you will say. You rehearse what they might say. You rehearse how you will respond. You rehearse 10 different endings, and somehow the rehearsal feels productive, even though nothing changes. Because what you are really doing is chasing certainty. Your mind believes, if I think about it long enough, I can control how it feels. But feelings do not work like that. And the more you try to control them with thinking, the louder they often get. This is where Freud's lens helps. The ego, that upstairs voice, wants to feel like the boss. So it makes explanations, it builds arguments, it creates narratives. But if the real driver is fear, or shame, or loneliness, explanations will not fix the problem. They'll just decorate it. So let us walk through 3 examples. As you listen, spot the moment the upstairs room is talking while the basement is driving. First example, procrastination. You tell yourself you are waiting for the right time. You tell yourself you work better under pressure. You tell yourself you are doing research. And sometimes you really do work better under pressure, and that's okay.
But a lot of procrastination is not time management. It is emotion management. It is the fear of starting. Because starting means you might fail. Starting means you might prove you are not as capable as you want to believe. Starting means you might feel exposed. So the basement says, avoid discomfort. And the upstairs says, I am being strategic. That is the ego not being master in its own house. Second example, relationships. Someone says something small, a tone, a delay, a look, a short reply, and suddenly your mind starts writing a whole novel. They do not respect me. They are pulling away. They are using me. They never cared. And you replay it for hours. But what is really happening is not logic. It is protection. Your nervous system is trying to predict rejection before it arrives, so you can defend yourself early. The basement says, prepare for pain. And the upstairs says, I am just analyzing. Third example, self-improvement itself. This one is a little savage. You watch content about discipline, confidence, mindset, and your mind starts forming a new identity. I am becoming a better person. But then you do not actually change your actions. So you watch more and more. And the content becomes a substitute for the uncomfortable part of growth. The basement says, consume, feel relief, avoid effort. And the upstairs says, I am learning. Again, ego, not master. Now, before you feel attacked, let me say this clearly. These patterns do not mean you are weak. They mean you are human. Your mind's job is to protect you from pain. The question is it protecting you in a way that helps your future or only helps your moment? Because avoidance feels good now and expensive later. So here is the ego expansion method. 4 steps. Step 1. Spot the script. When you are spiraling, your mind repeats a sentence, not a paragraph, a sentence. It sounds like, I have to, I cannot, they always, I always, this is bad, this means something. What if? Your job is to identify the exact sentence your mind is repeating. For example, if I start, I will mess it up. If I speak up, they will judge me. If I relax, I will fall behind. Step 2. Name the driver. Ask yourself, what feeling is underneath this script? Not the story, the feeling. Fear, shame, anger, loneliness, embarrassment, powerlessness. You are not trying to sound poetic. You are trying to be accurate. Because naming the feeling is how you stop confusing thoughts with truth. So you go from, I cannot start because I'm busy, to, I am avoiding starting because I feel afraid.
You go from, they do not respect me, to, I feel insecure and I am hunting for proof. You go from, I need to keep scrolling because I might miss something, to, I feel anxious and uncertainty hurts. Step 3. Make it conscious. This is the core move. Say the honest sentence out loud or write it down. I am doing this because I feel fear. I am doing this because I feel shame. I am doing this because I feel lonely. I am doing this because I feel angry. Or, I am avoiding this because I feel fear. I am avoiding this because I feel shame. I am avoiding this because I feel embarrassed. This is the moment Freud was pointing at. Because when you stop hiding the driver, it loses power. The basement hates being seen. Not because it is evil, because it is raw. And the moment it is seen, it often relaxes. Step 4. Micro action in reality.
Now you take one tiny action that moves your life forward without waiting for the feeling to disappear. This is the part that changes your brain, because your brain learns through experience, not speeches. Micro-actions look like this. Open the document for 2 minutes. Write the first ugly sentence. Send the one-line text. Wash one dish. Put your shoes on. Stand outside for 60 seconds. Something small enough that the basement cannot negotiate you out of it. And here is the key. You do the micro-action while still feeling what you feel. Power is not never feeling fear. Power is moving forward with fear sitting in the passenger seat. Now, let us apply this to the biggest living in your head loop, rumination. Rumination is when your mind chews on the same thought like it is trying to solve it by force. You replay conversations, you replay mistakes, you replay what if, you replay worst-case scenarios. And it feels like you're doing something. But most rumination is really a disguised attempt to control the future or rewrite the past. Your mind believes, if I think this through enough, I will not get hurt again. But what it actually does is keep your nervous system in a constant state of threat. So, if you struggle with rumination, try this right now. Do not overdo it, just try it. What is the sentence your mind repeats most?
Maybe it is. What if I ruin it? What if they leave? What if I am not enough? What if this never gets better? That is your script. Now name the driver. If that sentence had a feeling underneath it, what would it be? A lot of the time it is fear, but sometimes it is grief. Sometimes it is shame. Sometimes it is loneliness. Now say the honest sentence plainly. I keep thinking about this because I feel fear. Or, I keep thinking about this because I feel grief. Or, I keep thinking about this because I feel shame. Then, micro-action. What is the smallest action that would help even 1%? If you are overthinking a conversation, your micro-action might be writing what you actually want to say in one paragraph. If you are overthinking your future, your micro-action might be making 2 lists, things I control, things I do not control. If you are overthinking your worth, your micro-action might be doing 1 act that matches your values. Clean your space, walk, create, help, build. The point is not that the action fixes the feeling, the point is that it breaks the spell. Because living in your head is a spell. It convinces you that thinking is the same as acting. And the spell only breaks when you return to reality. Quick note. If you are dealing with intense anxiety, depression, trauma, or thoughts that feel dangerous or overwhelming, this video is not a replacement for professional help. This is education. This is mindset training. Support is not weakness. Getting help is not failure. But for the everyday battle, the spirals, the self-sabotage, the overthinking, this method is a weapon. Now, let us go 1 layer deeper, because I want you to understand why this works. In Freud's model, the ego is trying to keep you stable. But the ego has a problem. It hates admitting vulnerability. So instead of saying, I am afraid, it says, I am being logical. Instead of saying, I am lonely, it says, I just do not like people. Instead of saying, I feel rejected, it says, they are disrespecting me. That is why you cannot always talk yourself out of living in your head. Because the head is often where the cover story lives. The truth lives underneath. And when you access the truth, when you name the feeling, you stop fighting shadows. Modern psychology uses different words for this. Cognitive distortions, avoidance, emotion regulation, metacognition, attention control. But the move is the same. Notice the thought, name the feeling, choose the action. That is ego strength. Not ego like arrogance, ego like the part of you that can steer. And that is why the line, where id was, there ego shall be, hits so hard. It is basically saying, do not let impulses run your life unconsciously. Bring awareness, bring choice, bring leadership. So here is a final reframing that can change your relationship with your mind. Your thoughts are not commands, they are suggestions. Your feelings are not facts,
They are signals. And living in your head is what happens when you treat suggestions like commandments and signals like emergencies. So the next time your mind starts shouting, do not argue with it for an hour. Catch the script, name the driver, make it conscious. Micro-action. And if you do that consistently, something changes. You stop fearing your own mind. You stop feeling controlled by your emotions. You stop needing perfect certainty to take action. You become someone who can feel deeply and still move forward. That is mental power.
So here is your challenge. Today, catch your mind one time, just once. When you notice yourself explaining, rehearsing, spiraling, pause. What is the script? What is the driver? What is the honest sentence? What is the smallest step? Then do the step. 2 minutes, one message, one action. Because the real way out of your head is through your feet. Now I want to ask you something, and I want you to be honest, because you will realize you are not alone. What room runs your life most often? Fear, perfection, anger, approval, control, avoidance? And what script does it use? Drop your script in the comments. Next episode, we will go into another Freudian idea that explains why people repeat patterns. Different people, same pain. But for now, remember this. If your mind feels like a house you cannot control, it is not because you are broken. It is because you have been living upstairs while the basement has been driving. And the moment you bring the basement into the light, that is when the ego finally becomes master in its own house.